This is another episode of Standup Comedy, your host and MC, celebrating 40-plus years on the fringe of show business. Stories, interviews, and comedy sets from the famous and not so famous. Here's your host and MC, Scott Edwards.
Hi, and welcome to another bonus show on my podcast, Standup Comedy, your host and MC. And today I'm sharing a terrific interview done back in 1984 of a good friend of mine and one of the world-class ventriloquists that often played my club, Willie Tyler and his pal Lester. In fact, you may have caught his interview earlier in my podcast season. Very interesting guy. Terrific talent. And back in the early 80s, he was on all the TV shows. He was really probably America's #1 ventriloquist at the time, and I was very lucky to make friends with him and have him work my room many times. Anyway, on one of those occasions, he dropped in on KCRA Channel 3 Noon News and did a promo for his week at my club, Laughs Unlimited. It's interesting. There's a little funny. You'll hear Lester and Willie Tyler. And much like my interview with him earlier, we treat Lester like he's an additional interviewee. So sit back and enjoy this short interview from 1984 of Willie Tyler and his pal Lester.
You have to be familiar with the old expression, children should be seen and not heard, right?
Our guest today found a way around that, and he has found that keeping his mouth closed can be, and in fact is, quite profitable.
He is a veteran performer whom I've admired for years. He's worked in every area of the entertainment business, and he opens tonight at Laughs Unlimited in Sacramento. You know Willie Tyler, and I think you know Lester.
Hello, good afternoon, Carol. Good afternoon, Mike.
Nice to meet you, Lester.
How long have you been a ventriloquist?
Well, I've been a ventriloquist, Mike, I guess, since I was 10 years old.
I really threw you, Kurt. Made you answer.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, you know, but basically you asked me the question. Usually when you ask Lester the question, he gets on a roll and he never stops.
Lester, how'd you get hooked up with this guy?
Well, actually, he got me out of the catalog. Little catalog is like it's like a mug shot with a little number underneath the picture, and he couldn't think of the name for me. And his brother came up with the name Lester about a month and a half after he had me. And so I came into being. Does it make sense? It makes a lot of sense to me. Well, congratulations to you. You know what? You had the weather on just a minute ago, you know? And I love the weather. I was a weatherman once upon a time.
You were weather...
Yeah, you know why lightning doesn't strike in the same place twice? You don't know evidently,
no.
Right? Because the same place is not there the second time around. Mike, Carol.
Lester.
Details at 11? Maybe not.
The thing that is so great about Lester, and I was telling you just before we went on, is that if you look at Lester's eyes, they capture you. You can't see that on TV too often. But look at the eyes. They just bring you in.
See, the reason why is because I don't blink. I can always win at discos. I can always win staring contests. I can look at a woman and she'll blink before I blink.
Tell me something, Lester.
Yes.
How do you handle problems with groupies? You know, people always wanting to come after you for your autograph and...
No, I don't mind that because, you know, this shows that I'm unrealistic to them. And they like me, and so those are my fans, and they pay to come see me and all that stuff. So I don't mind that. That's good. That's good. I like that.
Well, I gotta talk to your big brother here. Okay? All right?
Go for it.
Willie.
Yes.
You do a lot of other things. You also do music, don't you?
I write songs.
What songs have you written that we would recognize?
Well, no, actually, there's songs that we do in the act. In other words, it was a situation one time I did a talk show, and I was going to do a song that was already published, a hit song that everybody knew. But I'll tell you, it was the Mike Douglas show a long time ago, and Mike was doing that same song that particular day. So, of course, he's the host of the show. He has priority, so he did the song, and I didn't do the song. So I said, well, why not write a few songs? So I wrote a couple of songs, and what we do is we do them in the act. And granted, we submit them to other people, and hopefully one of these days, other people will record our songs. But we've done songs like Laid Up is called, and One's called How You Gonna Know If the Roof Leaks If It Never Ever Rains?
Yeah.
You know, big hits like that.
And you sing, Lester.
Lester
yes, I do. Yes, I do.
You don't make Willie sing, do you, Lester?
Well, he sings too, yes. We're working on singing together, though.
If that happens, I want to be there when you do it.
Sure. Well, we're going to do it with mirrors.
We're going to have to do something.
Little prisons. I like that.
Willie, I have a question for you. A while ago in the news, they were talking about a ventriloquist convention where I suppose several of you gathered together, and there was some discussion about not calling your partners dummies because that didn't seem to be too flattering a word.
Sort of harsh.
How do you feel about it?
Well, I think, actually the professional name for him is like a ventriloquial figure. But the average person can't say that. So it's basically a figure. Or the name of the character, like Lester or Jerry or whoever. But as I say, dummy is harsh.
How many ventriloquists, and I mean really that are before the lights, are there in this country?
Aren't that many. I guess I would say approximately 10. I mean, approximately. There are a lot of them, a lot of amateurs around, but aren't that many. It's a very difficult business to crack.
I certainly have admired you for years, and
Thank
I
you.
wish the best of luck at Laughs Unlimited. That's
Thank you.
3 days this week, starting tonight. Don't forget that. If you need to get reservations, and you better hurry, I would tell you that. 446-5905.
Yeah, come on out for some laughs and all that kind of stuff. And a little music also. You know what I mean?
Willie Tyler and Lester, both of them.
Thank you.
You very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Coming up, 2 people are pulled from the wreckage of a...
Wow, I got to tell you, it is so neat to listen to these old recordings. Back in 1984, which was quite a while ago, I was so blessed to work with so many famous people and talented people, and having Willie Tyler and Lester as regular acts, and they did, boy, my TV shows, my concerts, my club many, many times, and getting a chance to hear Willie Tyler tell his story with the noon news anchors to promote his appearance at my club is just fun and a good memory. Anyway, I'm sure it was entertaining for you as well. Hope you enjoyed this week's bonus show. Stay tuned Sunday, another full episode of Stand-Up Comedy, your host and MC. We really appreciate you listening. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Stand-Up Comedy, your host and MC. For information on the show, merchandise, and our sponsors, or to send comments to Scott, visit our website at www.standupyourhostandmc.com. Look for more episodes soon and enjoy the world of stand-up comedy. Visit a comedy showroom near you.